people in this culture's past have laid the brickwork for us to be here today in 2018.
Absolutely.
You know, and one of the biggest platforms, the largest youth network in the world, being MTV, opened its doors in the late 80s for a show that became, in my opinion, the most important show ever when it comes to hip-hop culture.
Greatest.
The greatest show ever when it comes to hip-hop culture. The best.
Number one.
The vanguard. It became the pioneering, the original, the Dundada, whatever you want to call it, that introduced this culture to the world. That introduced this culture to the world, and I'm talking about Yo MTV Raps.
Ow.
Woo, yeah.
And we're talking about celebrating the 30th anniversary that's taking place tomorrow at the Barclays Center.
Wow.
And
Brooklyn, New York.
Make
it happen. MTV Raps 30th anniversary experience. Tickets still on sale, and we are selling steak at half price during the middle of the show.
Okay, so now because it's our show and they came here, we were able to talk to Dr. Dre, who's been a pillar in the Yo MTV Raps history, and being able to get the tickets to be reduced to half price. Thank you. Dr. Dre is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Knowledge
yes, sir,
me,
Sway.
homie.
Yes, sir. Can you feel it?
Can you feel it?
And would you like to pump that bass?
Pump that bass.
There you go. I got more. I got a lot more.
I went down to the Hempstead Terminal.
Word, cousin, man.
Yo, man. And the guards came up to me, man. You know what they said to me, cuz?
Yo, what was they kicking to you, man?
Yo, cuz they said, knowledge me, oh me.
Ooh, remember this?
Yeah, I remember it well.
You remember this?
I would like to remember the check I haven't gotten either.
Yeah, Master Ace.
That'd be a nice thing.
Yeah, okay, well, you know.
Master Ace did a good job, and so did Run DMC with Together Forever. How about that?
Yeah. You never got a check for that, Dre?
No checks.
Hey, but right
no
now,
checks.
But right now, you on Sway in the morning, damn it. All right.
That's right. How's that?
All right. You come a long way from the Concept crew, original Concept, to Hot 97, to Yo MTV Raps.
Don't skip the Beastie Boys.
The Beastie Boys.
Don't
my
skip
bad.
that.
My bad.
No problem.
I mean, all the great things you've done, and now we're celebrating this 30th anniversary, and you didn't come alone.
Oh, no. It came with the greats. That's what I said, the greatest.
Yes,
and, you know, we're just proud and very humble that we still are able to go do a show like the 30th anniversary of Yo MTV Raps experience at the Barclays Center with a cavalcade of stars.
Yeah.
We brought some of the cavalcade with us.
And she was just recently here.
Yeah.
She and tickets are 25% off right now. Maybe by the end of the show we'll get them to be half off, but it's 25% off.
And paper started
start coming out.
Yep.
We just had this queen.
Sway.
I know, right? We just had this queen on the show recently, and they did an excellent job. She did an excellent job and giving us an insight on her life story. We recently just watched it and learned so much about her as a person. All I knew was those cocky, arrogant battle raps she was putting out back then, and she just but she empowered a lot of young women at that time to be boastful about who they are, be proud of who they are, represent who they are, and she brought a lot of style to the game as well. And she's here with us today. Heather B, you want to do the honors?
Absolutely. Soon as she walked in, we got to give it up and show love, of course, to the queen, Roxanne Shanté.
Yes, she's here. How you doing? Like, do people stop you on the street again?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They actually do. And it's so funny because now the whole topic of conversation has changed because it was never really about the music. Now people stop me and say, listen, I watched the movie 4 times with my daughter, you know, and a lot of men come up to me and say, you know, thank you. I watched the movie with my daughter, which to me meant that I had definitely succeeded in what it was I wanted to do because to have fathers understand how important it is for them to be in their daughters' lives. Mothers also, but mainly fathers so that they can get a better understanding of how a teenage girl moves and what she may go through and what can happen if you're not around. So, you know, big up to all the dads. Father's Day is getting ready to come around.
Thank you very much.
You know, so happy Father's Day to all of them. And you know, just to know that it sparked that conversation is just a blessing for me.
It's a blessing. And then my brother is here. I say he's my brother because, you know, we grew up parallel lives, so to speak. You know, we were inspired by this man from the 80s on down. He was the first hip-hop artist that made a you know how Kanye did Jesus Walks?
Yeah.
He was the first that I could really, identify with, that made a song that talked about heaven in a hip hop way, talked about spirituality in a way that was so cool, with his ballies on and everything, and the tank top that he had on in the video, and it had sex appeal and all of that on it, and he still looks the same, however many years later, the world's greatest entertainer. But not only that, man, this dude has been a great mentor, a great brother, a great example. Often, we would sit down, we would stand up on the corners in Harlem, him, Rich Nice, and I, and sit down and have conversations just about family, about relationships, about everything that had nothing to do with rap music or the music business. And it's amazing when you talk about longevity in this building and being able to sustain a certain level of prestige at the same level that you came in the business with. I mean, it's not many people who could say that they've done that as well as he has. I mean, you give it credit to LL Cool J and a few Fresh Prince, Will Smith, a few others, but you got to put him in that conversation as well. Absolutely. The one and only Doug E. Fresh.
Always love. Always an honor, brother.
Man.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man.
I was on the West Coast.
I wanted to ask you, how's your daughter, especially on the heels of
Chloe and Halle.
Yeah.
With Roxanne, Shanté.
No. But when we was last in the studio in the West, remember we was in there one time and she was in there. She made a little statement. She was something else. I haven't seen her in a long time, but you know what I'm talking about. She got that energy. Yeah. She got his personality.
She was, at that time, she might have been 6 or 7.
She was something
Mr. Doggy Fresh, Mr. Doggy Fresh.
Oh my gosh.
You have no idea, man.
Yeah, she's 19 now, Dougie.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Woo.
She's a grown woman.
Good luck.
Let me ask you guys this, because I often tell folks when they see me I've been on with MTV since 2000, Dre.
I know.
That's it?
And that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it, man.
Oh, boy, you only got a couple more years left.
Okay, that's it,
Watch
right?
out.
Okay, damn, I
Watch
know,
out.
man. Hey, but I'm going to make the most of it.
That's
all
right.
right. Okay, and I tell people all the time, like a lot of folks will say, hey, man, I love watching you on TV. I like your demeanor, your whole nine. And I would tell them, hey, man, I kind of got that. I got that from Fab Five Freddy. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be honest. I used to watch Fab Five Freddy. I used to like how he was always knowledgeable about the people he interviewed. He was doing the weekends.
Absolutely.
He was able to go in any neighborhood, whether he was in Compton with NWA or he was in Houston with the Ghetto Boys or he was here in New York, with Eric B. and whoever.
Right.
He had that demeanor. What was Yo MTV Raps for you guys though here on the East Coast?
Well, I mean, for me, it was just the fact of being able to not have to constantly tell people what it was like to travel and be on tour, because you come from a housing project, so when you go back, everybody wants to know, well, how was this here and how is it there, and you're telling them like, well, when I get off stage or when I do this, I get to see this part, see that part. And what Fab Five Freddy was able to do was he literally took the whole entire world on tour. So that they were able to see these neighborhoods and see these houses and see the food and the people and their moms and their basements and the music and to get to see all of the things that we used to always have to describe. Because when you're on tour, most of the things everybody wants to know, well, how was it there and how was it there? And you're trying to tell everyone. So when he came along, it saved us a lot of storytelling. Like, wow, like, look, you can tune to it now.
Turn to the TV. What about you, Doug?
Man, I just feel like, like overall what Yo MTV represented was it was getting us into a space where we never were able to go in a way naturally. We were living this experience all the time, but it was kind of like we had a nice platform, and I think Fab Five was the guy to do it. He was very warm. Yeah. He had a very good personality. It was very genuine. I mean, he's still that way today. I seen him up on 145th Street. We standing out there. He say, Dougie, what you think I should eat? What you think I should go? We standing in front of the fish spot. So I just think that certain people just have a certain way with people. I definitely think that what you said about him being somebody that you watch, that's a good thing. But, as you go on and you start to evolve, you start to put your own kind of like flavor to it. It's kind of like in hip hop.
Yeah,
we all learn from each other, but as you go on and you evolve, you start to add that your own dimension. And basically, what you did is you just took it to a new level, but it was that base. And I always appreciate when I hear people talk about people who came before them. Like, having Dr. Dre up here is just such an honor because he's been a friend of mine for a long time. And just to see this thing go from one person to the next person, but it's still got to this point now to where we're on your show, promoting one of the greatest concerts that'll ever happen in New York City.
Ever.
And it's only 25% off of this thing here that everybody needs to come out. Because I think you need to read who's on the list.
Okay.
So they can understand what they're getting.
Okay,
Yes.
Melle and Scorpio and Furious 5.
Oh, my God.
Kid Capri. Black Sheep. Brand Nubian. DJ Scratch. Young Black Teenagers. Flavor Flav. DOS Effect. Yo. DJ Scribble. Pharcyde. Onyx. Nice and Smooth. EPMD. Big Daddy Kane. Eric B. and Rakim. MC Light. Dougie Fresh. Fat Joe. Ed Lover. Fat Five Freddy. T Money. KRS-One. And the one and only magnificent Dr. Dre. Hey!
I was about to say. And I guess everybody didn't get their dollar. Hold on a second.
Right. And surprise guests that will show up, and that's something that couldn't be announced. So to me, coming from this point of then till now, I mean, it's about time to celebrate.
It's about time to celebrate. And this is taking place tomorrow at the Barclays. One of my biggest milestone moments is King Tech and I put out a video called The Anthem. And when the anthem came out, we had we had RZA on it. We had Eminem on this video. It was a collab song. Eminem, RZA, Tech Nine, KRS-One, Chino XL, J.O. Felony, Pharoah Munch.
Sounds like the last episode of Yo MTV Raps right now.
That was KRS-One. Red Alert. Prince Ken Swift from the original Rocksteady crew. My man Cujo, another B-boy from the West Coast. Other B-boys were featured in it. And just before Yo MTV Raps went off the air, they played our video. And it was like that. It's the first time and only time we ever had a video played on MTV Raps. Dre, I want to ask you, man, what's one of your biggest milestone moments having done that show that you experienced?
My biggest milestone moments, I mean, besides just the show, is watching Dougie Fresh in Beat Street as Kumo D and Treacherous 3 are getting down. That was one of the big milestones. The other big milestone is actually performing with this young lady to my left, and when we were at the actually the Roller Castle, and we were coming up at a radio station that we had on Long Island called WBAU. The biggest milestone for me at Yo MTV Raps is when Peter Doherty met me while I was DJing at a loft in downtown, and he said, "Hey, have you been watching this thing called Yo MTV Raps?" And I said, "Yeah," because he knew me from DJing with the Beastie Boys. And he said, "Would you like to come down? I want to talk to you about this show." And I said, "Sure. You got any ideas?" And I said, "Yeah, I got some ideas for it." And our journey was so unique for us, for Ed and I got to keep it very simple. Every week we thought we were canceled. Every week. Yeah. Because when we were sitting there working, it was like, yo, this is the last week. Yo, we're going to get one more week in here and we're done. Even when we got the contract, because what would happen is, Swear, you can attest to this, they would mess with the time of the show. We do 30 minutes, then we do 60 minutes, then we do one. So they tried a trick they thought was going to wipe us off the channel. Yeah. They said, we'll put them on twice a day. Nobody could survive that. And then the rest blew up.
The rest is history.
And then we went down and we started doing those spring breaks with everybody. And the thing that was unique about being in New York with Yo MTV Raps, the boroughs didn't get Yo MTV Raps. They were blessed by, of course, the great Ralph McDaniels and the Vid Kid, because they had Video Music Box. Why? Right. Because they didn't have cable. They just didn't have cable. I used to make copies of tapes and bring it to Ed when we first started, because he lived in Queens. I lived in Westbury out on Long Island, and that's where MTV was. MTV was on Long Island because we had cable. So the interesting thing about it is, when Fab was going out and doing shows, Ed and I, we walked over to Ted and said, "Yo, Ted, Pete, can we go on the road just a little bit? Can we do something?" And it was always like, "No, you guys are designed to be in the studio, this, that, and the other." But the requests for us started coming in like crazy. Yeah. And one of the biggest artists that ever requested us was like NWA when they were together, like that. And we went out, and this, you could see it in the Defiant Ones with Jimmy Iovine and company, and you could see the effects of what Yo MTV Raps did for NWA. You can't see it in Straight Outta Compton. I don't know why they dropped that out, because even the scene when they're on in Detroit on the stage, and they got, they was doing F the
They got
Police.
ran off the stage. Yeah.
Yeah, guess who was on the stage with them?
That was you guys?
Dr. Dre and that lover shooting Yo MTV Raps.
Wow.
So the one thing beautiful about Yo MTV Raps, and I got too many members to point at one or the other, it's like we embrace the country. And when you saw Yo MTV Raps video, you didn't see West Coast,
Yeah.
you didn't see East Coast, you didn't see
I
Dirty
agree.
South,
Yep.
you didn't see North.
Yeah.
You saw Yo MTV Raps. And as we became an international phenomenon, the same thing happened. And the beauty of that is Yo MTV Raps today, or whether it be Yo MTV Raps with Fab Five Freddy, because there were two distinctive different shows in a way,
Yeah.
but they're still the same show. We were uniters. We built bridges. We didn't exclude people. We were more inclusive to everyone.
Yeah.
And I remember first time when I came out to see you on your show out on the West Coast.
Sway and Tech, world famous wake up show.
That's right.
Okay.
It's
That's
like
right.
our whole thing was, and it was people like Dougie who taught us, we got to all work with our blessings. And you got to make those blessings for everybody. Not, that's why, I have no problem with battle rapping or anything like that. I enjoy it. It's like a sport to me.
Yeah.
But my thing is, when it starts to get so personal and you start to tear people's lives down and you're going deeper and deeper and deeper, what's the purpose of that? I thought the music was supposed to be fun. I thought it was about the show. I thought it was about the la-di-da-di. It was about those type of things. It wasn't always about the attack. The attack is the entertainment side a little bit, but we got to know how to pull back a little bit.
Roxanne,
And
Shanté, you want
that's
to say anything about it?
I was sitting over here trying to go under the table.
But what she did, and that's the beauty of watching.
She never took it to the point that
Right.
it became
Not to where we are now.
disrespectful
Exactly.
So y'all
personally.
don't agree with what's going on
skills.
with Drake and Pusha T? Like,
Are we still there? See, we did Yo MTV Raps for 30 years, and we're
It's
still
too
in the
much? Is
same.
it too much? You think it's too much?
We're still in the same place. Just hold on.
Roxanne.
Wait. It's just like the NFL trying to put us all in the locker room and not let us come out there and exercise our constitutional rights. You see what that's about?
yeah.
If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, that's called insanity. At some point, you got to say it's time for us to come together and pull each other up. Don't be scared because Roxanne says something crazy. That's what she's supposed to do. It's what we do after the fact, and that's what Yo MTV Raps was all about.
Okay.
We were inclusive, not exclusive.
okay.
And,
I mean-
and that's what's going to happen tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
is, at the
And
Barclays.
25% off.
Yes.
You know?
How can people get
Come
tickets?
and, come and step back into the time machine and,
Yeah.
and make that happen. Come
And
and-
some of you might
come
get a
enjoy
vegetable
yourself.
wrap.
Okay.
A vegetable wrap at
I'ma
half
be
price there, Dougie.
That's
be
right. That's right. That's right. And what is it? Ticketron, I think you're supposed to hit radio.
Ticketmaster
The
and the
magic
code
word is radio. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, if you go to Ticketmaster, use the code word radio.
Radio.
All the
Absolutely.
citizens tuned in right there. We're going to get you 25% off on tomorrow, Yo MTV Raps 30th anniversary experience. This is a legendary show.
At
man,
the
it
Barclays
is, man.
Center
It
in
is.
Brooklyn.
Yes.
In Brooklyn, ladies and gentlemen.
And I got to shout out Scribble. I mean, he put his heart into this. He's one of the
Yes,
guys who
yes,
produced this.
absolutely.
And
Charlie too, man.
I mean,
Gotta tell you,
Charlie.
yeah.
Look, man, Charlie is my man. B.
Yes.
He's the last man standing, boy. You know what I mean?
Please
And that's why
believe
we're
it.
here with him.
But
And,
I
and
got-
it's so important, man. To me, this is a good show, a great show. But it's important to kind of see what Dre is talking about.
Yeah.
It's like a history line, and you get to see all of these artists, and it's going to be moving at such a fast pace that I
gosh.
think that people will walk out of there just charged up. It won't be one of those shows where you're drained out.
Dragging
You
it
know,
out.
it was well produced. It's going to be streamed. It's going to be seen. You want to be there. You want to be
man.
a part of it.
Yeah,
Wow.
you do. You want to be a part of hip hop history, and
Yes.
that's exactly what you're going to experience is
gonna be
hip
a
hop
nice
history.
night.
And
and you're going to hear everything that you wanted to hear, like every hit that you remember from that time. You are going to not just hear it, but you're going to be able to see it because you know for a fact that when you look at some of the names on this bill, everyone has a great show.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
therefore,
yeah,
you're getting ready to see
yeah.
great shows combined.
How did y'all determine who would go last?
They haven't. They got a
Well,
coin they're going to flip. Don't worry about that.
exactly.
Don't you worry about that, Sway.
okay.
Why are you
But
causing
there's
trouble?
A
No,
surprise.
no, no, no.
There's a surprise. There's a surprise.
Jay-Z's coming?
Well,
No.
I-
Okay.
Dougie, I'll
I
leak it.
ain't
I'll leak it
gonna
out, so I'll get in trouble. We have Michelle Obama coming with no sleeves on. Straight up no sleeves. And of course, she's bringing She's
Shouldn't
bringing
have
the,
told him, Jay. You shouldn't have told
I
him.
have to. She's
Right.
bringing the 44 with her, and he's doing some Al Green. Trust me.
Wow, that's
It's
what's
going to go
up,
down like
man.
that. But I
Get
got to
you.
give a big shout out to Peter Darty, Ted Demi, and the
Yes.
whole crew that was there.
Absolutely.
Moses Edinburgh, Penny McDonald, Todd Brown, Martha Diaz, Ramen Ali
Diaz.
Bugs. I mean, the list goes on and on because all those people helped combine for us to make Yo MTV Raps what it is. And big shout out to my partner, Ed Lover. Unfortunately, he's not here, but he's here in spirit. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to put it down. We're going to put it down.
Thank you,
always
guys.
do,
Hey,
brother.
thank
We're
you.
gonna put it down.
Thank
you for having me,
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we're going to do TRL in a minute, too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, man.
We still got that, too, Dre. We still in there.
Oh, we got more to do?
We got more to do.
We're doing overtime?
Well, not here, but we're going to go do it in
No,
another
we're doing
building.
we're doing another
They
show.
didn't
It's
tell y'all
overtime.
that? Y'all didn't tell? They didn't
That's
tell you?
overtime. No, they told me.
Yeah,
Swear, you gotta go.
all right,
You
my
gotta
bad,
go
my
with
bad.
the other parts of the
Okay,
comedy.
my
then.
part, man. I'm just idolizing you right now. All right,
idolizing
okay.
you.
All
I'm
right.
idolizing you.
Yo, thank you, man. I love you, man. I remember last time we did the big payback panel, you and I, that Dan Charnas wrote the book, and
Yes.
we it talked about the history of radio, rap, and radio. And we had a chance to sit on the panel together.
And I want to thank you for talking to my daughter because right now she's on the dean's list, getting ready to graduate down at Hampton University, and she'll be in the house
Yes.
just to check you out,
Okay,
probably.
Tell her I said I love her. Uncle Sway loves her.
That's
all
right.
All right.
And all my other sons, they'll be in the house too. And you know what? I'm just blessed to be near every one of you because the one thing about myself, Ed, we were fans of everybody here.
Yes.
We're fans. So it's like we're sitting on stage. We may be working it and doing it, but we're fans. That's what the genuine love of the game is. And big up to T Money all the time because he also put his, Yo MTV Raps, Yo Mailman thing into this too.
Yeah.
So it's the peace and blessing from everybody out there. And the whole thing is, it's always about the love. Because when we were doing this, we were doing it sometimes and we never got paid or you got juked at or something and you were like, dang, I can't believe this happened. And you know what? We went right back and did it again.
That's hip hop.
That's hip hop.
Everybody
That's
got
the way
that
it goes.
real shit. Hey, I love you guys.
Love you too,
man.
brother.
Number love, my brother.
Come on.
Hey, can I tell people my
Yes.
my Instagram
Yes.
real quick?
Yeah.
Hey, anybody out there that's we all over, man, performing and everything, and this concert is important. But I want y'all to know that if you ever checking it out, my Instagram is at The Real Doug E. Fresh. So if you're out there,
Someone's trying to perpetrate your name there,
yeah,
Doug?
well, you gotta know, you gotta always let people know what's real and what's not real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
I can't say that, Doug,
oh,
because
why
there's
not?
another Dr. Dre. He's a few billion up on me.
Yeah.
So I gotta roll with it.
Well, we
well, we gonna work on that.
Oh, we're
Okay.
gonna,
We're gonna work on that.
work on that.
But we're gonna party tomorrow night.
Okay, tomorrow night at the Barclays, Yo MTV Raps 30th anniversary experience. Chloe and Holly, thanks for coming by today.
Absolutely.
Also, we want to thank Chantel Core. Shito Core. I'm sorry, Shito Core, a scientist that came up and talked about today being the final day, but we're going to continue to talk about Mental Health Awareness Month. Roxanne, Shanté, I love you.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I love you.
You looking for Roxanne's Revenge. That's what you looking for.
I know that's that. No.
I love it for all those beats and the rhymes attached.
Yeah, but ooh.
There you go.
Rich Nice is here. His first rapper signed to Motown Records. Yeah, we got to throw him on stage. Charlie. All right, Dr. Dre, love you.
Love you
Dougie,
too,
love
that's
you.
right.
All right, until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we have nothing left to say.